Hi guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be talking about driving test tips and how you can pass your very first time with a 100%.
I never made it, but I know what it takes. I'm motivated.
I'm so scared.
By a mix of emotion, got my statement. And I'm reading it slow so I can understand it fully. Appreciate my standing, go out of this world and right on time.
I have 14 tips on how to pass your very first time. Okay, tip number 1 is take the test in a car you are familiar with. I got very lucky. I got my car a month after getting my permit. So when I had my permit, I was able to drive my car and get really familiar with it. So it wasn't an issue on the test day. Tip number 2 is to practice. I know at first it's really fun, but after like a month or so, practicing doesn't get as fun. It's very annoying driving around with your mom or your dad just screaming at you the whole time. I know I hated it, my brother hated it. It was just horrible. Drive to school, drive to work, drive your mom or dad on errands, just get all your practicing in, because that's what I did. I drove at least twice or 3 times a day when I had my permit. And I know like other friends who don't drive at all or who go a week without practicing. So that's probably the best tip, is just to get your practicing in, because that is the only way you're going to get really familiar with all the driving stuff around you. Number 3 is to have a really good driving instructor. So required by law, you're supposed to have 3 lessons each 2 hours. So you're supposed to get 6 hours of behind the wheel. My driver instructor was horrible. He literally yelled at me all the time. He was just
a dick, basically.
So get a nice driver instructor. My brother had a really nice person, and I guess I'll, or whatever. But just get a really good driving instructor, because they're gonna go over all the basics before you can like go on the roads and stuff. So sorry, my mom texted me. If you know the DMV you're going to, just go to the website and they have the routes posted online. That's what I did, and I went and practiced all the routes all the time with my mom or my dad, and that was very beneficial. So the day before you take your driver's test, have a driving lesson. I had a driving lesson with a different lady. It was my coworker's mom. So
I was like, hey, can I do a lesson the day before my test just to get familiar with the route?
She's like, yeah. So she picked me up from school, and then we did all the routes. She knows all the routes for the DMV I took mine at. So, and she gave me tips and tricks. We did a practice test. That was definitely my biggest tip, is to get a lesson the day before with a professional, just so you can kind of wrap everything up with your permit and go on all the routes. And you can get feedback from someone else other than your parent. Have a clean car, because it's probably not great for the examiner when they get in the car and it smells like Taco Bell from 2 days ago. So just clean your car the day before. It puts on a really good first impression to them. Tip number 7 is to get a good night's sleep the night before. I did have a test the next day, but did I study for that?
No, I wanted to pass my driver's test even more.
So if it's a test you have to take, I mean, if you really want to pass the test, stay up until like midnight, I guess, or whatever. But I
was like, fuck it, I'm going to sleep.
Number 8, I highly suggest you not do this, because this was a big mistake I made and it was horrible. Okay, so do not get coffee that morning. Sounds crazy, like, oh, what are you talking about? Like, I'm gonna be tired. Okay, I didn't eat either, so I had to go to first period, take a math test, and then my mom picked me up at our first break, and she was like,
oh, it's from Starbucks.
And I was like,
okay.
So we went to Starbucks. I got a venti caramel macchiato, and then I didn't eat anything. So when I drink coffee and not eat anything, I get really shaky. So I was already nervous, so it just made it 100 times worse. And you have to sit in that line for a good like 30 minutes. So I had to pee really bad, and you're not allowed to get out of your car. So during my entire test, I had to pee, and it was horrible. So do not get coffee on the way. Maybe get coffee like on your way to school that day, so then you can pee before. Okay, so take your test between 10 and 11:30. I took mine was at 10:30, because if you take your test between those hours, it's like the most dead on the streets. There was not many people on the streets when I was taking mine, because if you take it at like 8 a.m., there's gonna be like kids going to school, people going to work. But if you take it around 12 is when like all the high schoolers go off campus for lunch, and then like people are going out for lunch, like people who have jobs and stuff. That's just a very busy time to take it. Or do not take it at like 5 o'clock. So the best time to take it is between 10 and 11:30. me and my brothers were both at 10:30 and it was dead. But we took ours on different days. We'll get to that. So during the actual test, like this test specifically, keep your hands at 10 and 2. So it's like a clock. So think a clock. So this is 12, 1, 2. Keep your hand there. And then 12, 11, 10. I just realized it's opposite on camera, but I swear I know how a clock is. 10. So 10 and 2 is the proper way, or else you'll get docked a point. So do not take your hands off the steering wheel. During my lesson the day before, she told me if like your hands go off, that's an automatic fail. So do not do that, and they will fail you automatically. I remember taking my test and I had an itch on my forehead, and it was so distracting. So I was like, oh, and I almost took my hand off the wheel, but I was like, fuck, I can't. So it'll eventually go away. Trust me, like it was right here, and I was like, oh, are you fucking kidding me? It was like the middle of my test too. Always overreact like your looks and your when you're just looking around. Always look around, look over your shoulder. They love it when you like do it twice. I did it twice because they look at the same time too. So if you're doing like a lane change, so clip your blinker on, and then top mirror, side mirror, and then over, and then do it again. That's what I did, and I didn't get any extra points docked for doing it twice. So do it twice. Just do not brake super hard. This one is not an automatic fail, but it is a couple points off. The driver examiners tend to overreact when you do, so they will be like, oh no. This is the last tip. When I had my permit, I had a very big problem with speeding, and during my test, I thought that one thing I was thinking was balance. They have to like balance the speedometer. I don't know why I thought that, but it helped, and I did not even think it before. So always keep an eye on your speedometer and balance it to keep it like not going over. Because if you go 1 mile over, they'll automatically fail you. But you can go 10 under, and you can go 5 under with a couple points docked. But if you go 10 under, then it's not an automatic fail. You should stay in between, like, don't go below 5. Don't go below 5. Also, stay calm during the test. That's the best thing you can do. Once you're actually physically taking the test, it is not that bad. I was really nervous. I say the worst part of the whole thing is waiting in the line in your car, and you're just like, fuck. Or when they come to your car and tell you to do the vehicle, like, examination, so they check your blinkers, your windshield wipers, lights, parking brake, etc. All that. That's probably the worst part because it's just like really intimidating and you're just like shitting yourself the whole time. So yeah, I took my test February 20th and my brother took his on March 16th. So we took ours different days. He had the same lady I did and he passed with 100% and he did all these tips. So if you just follow these tips, you should do fine. Yeah. I know the DMVs are closed currently due to the coronavirus, so I thought I should do this because a lot of people are probably doing research on how to pass their driving test. So good luck to you all. Comments in the comments if you passed your first time with 100%, or if you just passed, or if you failed, tell me what you did wrong. I can hopefully help you out just a little bit. And yeah, thank you for watching. Make sure to stay tuned for next Sunday or Saturday. I'm not 100% sure yet, but I will get a video up within a week. And make sure to go watch my last video. Follow my TikTok, my Instagram, my Snapchat, and I add everyone back for the most part. I try to, at least. Yeah, so I will link it all below. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.